What's up? Welcome back. Okay. Just got done with my very last workout. Um, Leaving tomorrow for Iceland. So I just want to kind of go over the whole I guess process, right? So we planned this trip about 10 or so months ago, something like that. Maybe it was less. I planned my training 7 months out. So I think we were planning it and then we pulled the trigger, 8 months out. And I did a little plan, started 7 months out. Um, so my GPP phase was basically to integrate a little bit more Zerchers, front squats, things like that, um, to help with the front loading of the stone, right? Um, Kind of started throwing in there for about, so that was about 2 to 3 months long, something like that. I'd have to get my notes. I don't remember exactly, but so about 2 to 3 months was my GPP phase, and then was my SPP phase, was my sport specific phase. Okay, so when I started out, my Husafell was 330. Okay, so 330 was my max. That was a very rough 330, if I do recall. It was a long time ago. And I was like, man, throwing 80 pounds on a single lift, that's going to be rough. That's going to be really, really rough. My whole objective in Iceland is just to pick the stone up. If I can take one step, that's just bonus points for me. So just to pick it up, that's what I want. So I was like, all right, well, let's do this, right? So I started. The plan I came eventually for my SPP phase was basically 3 lower body days a week and 1 upper body a day. Um, I didn't want to completely drown out my upper body stuff, but I knew my upper body was going to be put on the back burner, and I'm totally okay with that. I think I just push pressed like 250. My all time best is 275. So pretty close for not hardly doing any upper body shit for the last fucking 7 months. I'm okay with that. So what I did was, and I think now that I'm 45 years old, in order to write this program and stick with this program, but having bumps in the road and be able to adjust was my I think one of the biggest things, that my biggest takeaway that I can have. Because if you write programs and you write them for yourself, you have a tendency of thinking you're 25 years old again. Okay. So when you write programs, you write, man, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and this, and I'm going to add this, I'm going to do this. And that's all in one day. And then all of a sudden you do that for a week, and then you're smoked. The whole week, the next week you're done, right? And I did that, right? My first couple months of GPP, man, I was like, I'm gonna add this and add this and add this, and I was doing like 100 different accessories, this, that, and the other, and it just wasn't working, right? I was getting too burnt out. And I train 4 days a week, and the other 3 days a week I do, just basic like treadmill work. I get on the treadmill for 20 to 30 minutes. No big deal. Just to get the blood flowing, just to, heart health. I mean, I'm almost 50, for fuck's sakes, right? So that's been my training plan for a while now. Every once in a while, I'll bump it up to 5 days a week, depending on like my work schedule. 4 days a week works perfect for the work schedule I have right now, so I'm sticking with that. I don't see, at my age, what I'm doing, I don't see any reason to kind of change that. But so I programmed too much stuff for myself. I realized it. I said, okay, I'm going to start cutting back on things, right? The first thing I cut back on was my finisher. So I was doing a finisher every single day. whether sandbags or ski erg, row, whatever, sprints, all that stuff. And I'm like, is that going to get me closer to my training to lift the Husafell stone, right? Is me being able to sprint going to make me be able to lift up a 400-pound stone? No. Gone. Cut it, right? That immediately kind of made me feel a little bit better. I wasn't so worn out. I cut a couple accessories out here and there. So basically what I ended up with was, on my lower body days, I come in, I do, on all my days, come in, I do 30 minutes of cardio. That's like my warm up, if you will. Get a little sweat going on, get my heart rate up, things like that. If it's a lower body day, I go into, and I say plyometrics, but I just really mean some jumps, right? What that is doing for me is kind of like priming my body, my lower body, to be able to do something, right? And it works for me. I'm not saying it works for everybody. I'm saying it works for me. I find that if I keep in, I don't do like 1,000 jumps. I do, like, if I put in my video, I'll do like a set of 3, right? And that's my final set. I'll do a couple jumps. I'll do a little stretching, do a little massage gun, do a couple jumps on like a lower box, and then I'll put a whatever 40, 42 inches, whatever it may be, and then I'll do my final set of like 3 jumps at 40 inches, 42, and then I'm done. It's not a whole bunch of plyometrics. I'm not trying to like set a record of box jumps, nothing like that. It's just kind of to prime my body into, hey, I'm going to go use my lower body to do something. It makes me feel better. It makes me feel more explosive. It makes me feel a little bit limber, because when I jump up, I'm in a pretty deep squat, things like that. Okay, that's the only reason. It makes me feel good. And if something makes you feel good and it's not hurting your training, then why not do it, right? So I do that, and then I go right into my lower body. I go into my main movement. So in the first part, GPP is gone. I'm in my SPP phase. I had Zerchers, front squats, and Husafell stone picks, right? Okay, so I was, again, when you write your own shit, you do dumb shit, right? So my goals was, okay, listen, I need a 400-pound front squat, I need a 400-pound Zercher, and I need a 400-pound Husafell, right? That was my goals, okay? I quickly realized, not quickly, I mean, a couple months into it, I realized that, hey, this is not attainable. This was very dumb. I'm not gonna get that. For whatever reason, my front squat, like, man, that thing was like dying. Like, I would do on Tuesday, I would do Zerchers. Wednesday, I would do upper body. Friday, I would do front squats. And Saturday, I would do Husafell stone. My Zerchers were always feeling good. And then I did upper body, had a day off. My front squats were they sucked. I don't know what it was. I felt slow. I felt like lethargic. It was always super fucking heavy, and for whatever reason. And then I would do certain accessories, and then Saturday I would come in and do my Husafell stone, and that felt good. And I'm like, well, why is my Zercher feeling good, my Husafell stone feeling good, my front squats feeling like shit? I don't know. So about 5 months into it, maybe, I want to say about 5 months into it, I was like, I need to switch something up. Something's wrong. I don't know what's going on, but I need to switch something up. And it was right about that time where I failed at the Husafell stone. And it was like 360, something like that, 380. I don't know what it was. I can't remember. But anyway, I picked it up, and that thing got halfway up, and then it didn't fucking go anymore. Like, it did not go anywhere. And I'm like, what the fuck, right? Like, it was going really good. And like I said, so my previous was 330, and I never had, really like tried hard at it, but all of a sudden it was going up, going up, going up, going up. And then boom, just fucking hit a wall. I'm like, oh shit, like, fuck, something's going on. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start switching things around. I'm going to move things around, because a couple Saturdays where I had to do stuff, things like that. So I'm going to switch things around. I'm going to keep my Zerchers, because I think that's a pretty good, direct correlation to the lift. keep my upper body day. Got to do something, right? I'm gonna move my Husafell to Friday, and then on Saturday, I'm not gonna do a front squat anymore. I'm gonna do something else, right? So I took the front squat out because it was fucking sucking anyway. Um, and I analyzed that lift probably for excuse me. So that lift was 3 seconds long, whatever, 5 seconds long. I analyzed that son of a bitch for like an hour. I mean, just going up and down in slow motion and seeing exactly where I failed, why I failed, this, that, and the other. And I was like, well, maybe I need some more mid back strength, right? And maybe I need some more upper back strength. Maybe I need to throw some more biceps in there. I realized my tape. I have tape on my arms because if you've ever picked up a metal Husafell stone that's heavy, it'll fucking rip your arm, rip your skin up, and it just fucking hurts, right? And obviously, I paid a lot of money for my skin, so I don't want to rip this up. So I duct taped it. Well, I found out that my duct tape, when I was sweating, it was moving. So I picked up a stone, and the tape would just rotate or would slide down. So I'm like, well, what do I got to do, right? So I started reaching out to everybody, all these strongmen that I know. I got decent feedback from some of them. So what I did was I found some hockey tape that's breathable. I put hockey tape up here, hockey tape down here, and then I put duct tape on top of that. That hockey tape is sticky as shit, like ripping your hair out sticky. So when the duct tape adhered to it, it didn't move anymore. So that settled that problem. Mid back, I was like, what do I got to do, right? So I started doing more mid back, low rows, things like that. I started doing a lot more like dumbbell rows, bar rows. And then I think I came up with this exercise. Now, there's a couple dudes out there that say I didn't. One of them's Harry Selko, old school power lifter, old school strength and conditioning coach from back in the day. Was a strength and conditioning coach at, I want to say, Arizona State, but maybe not. Anyway, dude's like 60 years old. He's shredded. He's huge. Awesome, awesome guy. He says I didn't invent it, but god damn it, Harry, I think I did. Anyway, so what I did was I switched out front squats for just safety squat bar squats. Not a box squat, just a regular squat, right? I don't know why I did that, but I was like, I haven't done regular squats for a while. I'm going to throw a couple of these in there. And I wasn't going anything crazy. I was going to like, 300, in between like 300, 400 pounds, like nothing crazy whatsoever. And I was doing like a couple sets of like 3 to 5 reps. It was not intended to build muscle in my squats, nothing. It was just intended to get a movement pattern and to get a little bit of stretch reflex. And I could feel a little bit in my hammies. That's it. And then I would take that safety squat bar, I would put it down on the same bars that I do my Zercher from, and I would bear hug it, and I would kind of like do a good morning, or I'd pick it up in like a very non-advantageous position, right? So I wouldn't get like underneath of it and get my back flat and like pick it up straight. I would intentionally round my back over, have my butt high in the air, and then I would bear hug it and I would pick it up, and then I would do good mornings with it. And I'll throw some of those in there, in the clips in there or whatever. Um, I really like that movement. I think that movement, like when I first did it, I was like, whoop, like kind of like it got me. I mean, it lit me up. It lit my entire back, my entire butt and glutes and everything, all my hammies, everything. It lit everything up because I'm doing these certain movement patterns and I throw that in there, and I was like, all right, I think that's a good thing to do, right? So that's what I would do on Saturdays. I would, do my jumps, do my squats, and then I would do those. And I would not do a bunch of them because I knew if I did, I knew it would probably hurt me for the next week. So I didn't go crazy. I went up to like maybe 350, 330, something like that. I mean, not like 400 pounds. But what I noticed was it would get easier. It'd get easier. My positioning would get better. The good mornings would get easier, things like that. Directly transitioning into the Husafell stone, I said, okay, well, I need to know what 400 pounds feels like, right? Just mentally, I need that. So what I did was I stacked some plates up, put my Husafell stone on there. It took me a long time to figure out how to fucking fill that thing with 400 pounds. And I picked it up and I was like, that's not bad. And where I stacked the plates up to was the bottom of the Husafell stone was exactly the bottom of the place where I had failed. So I was like, if I can get it past the sticking point, I'm like, I can do this, right? And mentally, it was a huge, huge glass breaker for me. Like, just boom. I was like, all right, I'm good. I got this shit. Then every week I would take the plates down a little bit, and I would go up to like 380. I didn't need to go to 400 pounds again, right? I went up to 380. Hit 380 from one plate really easily. I think I even did like a 3 or 5 second hold, something like that. And then the next week, which was 2 weeks ago, I loaded 405 pounds from the floor, picked it up. Wasn't that bad. Pretty damn happy about it. And I thought to myself, well, I can't just do this, 405 pounds, 405 pounds. Eventually, I'm going to hurt myself. So I did that. Last week was a deloadish week. But I still wanted to feel a little bit of heavyweights, a little bit of strain. So, excuse me, safety squat bar, box squat, I worked up to like 570. My best is 650, I think, something like that. 650. So that 570 was super, super easy. And then I worked up to a trap bar deadlift of 580. That was pretty damn easy too, or not super easy. I struggled a little bit, but not that bad. And I was like, dude, all right, well, I think I'm good. So this week I had 2 days. I worked up to squats. I just think I worked up to like, I don't know, 4 something. Just nothing hard, nothing super crazy. And then today I did some sandbags, worked up to like 250 sandbag again. Nothing crazy, worked up a sweat, got some things moving, got some blood moving, right? We fly out tomorrow. I'm pretty confident in what's going to happen. And like I said, a couple things that I've noticed is one, at my age, I don't need to be training like a 20-year-old. Like I can't fucking do it, right? 30 minutes on the treadmill, that's a really good warm up. 20 to 30. Sometimes I just did 20. That's a good warm up for me. I throw something on the TV. I just watch it. I don't go that fast. I'm not doing anything crazy. Just get a break of sweat, right? Do some plyometrics, do some jumps. If you follow me on Instagram, I do high jumps, long jumps, box jumps. Like when you're on your knees, you go to your feet, then jump. Do some of those depth jumps. I do a little bit of everything. It just makes me feel good. Hit my main mover, depending on what my main mover is, and then I'll do 1 to 2 accessories, and then I'm out. That's it. That's all I do. But what I did do is I did 3 fucking lower body sessions a week. 3 lower body sessions, 1 upper body session. Okay. I've noticed that I didn't lose that much strength on my upper body. I did a lot of bicep stuff because when you're holding that stone, it is a lot of bicep stuff. It's a lot of shoulder stuff, right? But I'm already working it a little bit when I'm doing Zerchers. About Zerchers. So remember, I wanted to work up to 400 pounds. I did 385, which was my max before, and it was fairly easy. And I was like, dude, I'm just going to go up to 400 pounds. And then something clicked in my head. I'm like, so if you go up to 400 pounds just for a Zercher squat, which is not your main movement, and you get hurt or something happens or you tweak your back or some bullshit like that, like, how fucking stupid are you going to feel? So I had a little talk with myself. I said, you know what? You're right. So I did not even attempt anything over 385. The way I am, the way I'm built, the way I work, it was very hard to not just do that, right? It was very hard for me just to not try to max out and do that. It was really hard for me to back off a little bit, to be like, hey, this isn't my goal. My goal is this. This is what I need. I don't need this, right? So I backed off I didn't go anything over 385, which was at the end was fine. It was great because I got in what I needed to get in, um, and that's all I needed. I accomplished my goal of my Husafell stone being over 400 pounds, going from the floor. Accomplished that shit. Um, I'm thinking that the real stone is going to be a little bit easier than this metal one. This metal one, like I said, the dimensions are weird. It's very smooth. It pulls like really bad. Like I was ripping my skin in my wrist because my wrist would wrap around, and it would grab my skin and just rip it. So I had to like start putting a whole bunch of tape on my wrist, just right around my wrist, so I wouldn't rip my skin on my wrist. It was weird. Um, so I'm hoping the rock has a little bit of grip, right? It's not going to be as smooth as this metal, so it's going to have a little bit of grip. And there's a little, like a little lip thing that you can hook underneath of it. So hopefully it's going to be it's going to be not. I don't want to say easier because I don't think it's going to be easy. I think it's going to be a bitch, but I think it's going to be easier than metal, if that makes sense. It's going to be easier to grip and hold on to than metal would be. Whether I get it or not, man, fuck, time's gonna tell. Like I said, I'm pretty confident. I've put in the work. I've put in 7 months of good, solid work, and not really taking days off, not skipping things. I found out that even on shitty sleep, shitty food, whatever, I can still come in and I can put in some good work. So, hopefully it all goes well. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't, right? I mean, yeah, whatever. It's just it's a small goal to go to a different country and lift a rock. It's not going to make or break my life. I'm not getting paid for this, nothing like that. So, it's just a personal goal. We're also going to do the Dripvik stones. The Dripvik stones were if you've seen the t-shirt that says full Zerker, full strength, it was the stones that the fishermen used to pick up to see if they got a full share. We're going to do those as well. So we're going to, the plan is we're leaving tomorrow. We're arriving Friday morning. I don't know how the time difference is going to be. Arriving Friday morning. We arrive in Iceland in the morning. We're going to spend that day, get our Airbnb, get our food, rental car, go do some museum shit, things like that. The next day, I'm going to do the Husafell stone. So I'm going to basically get 2 days of rest, and then I'm going to go do it. So I'm pretty pumped right now. That 250 sandbag I just did was the easiest I've ever done that sandbag, and for whatever reason, that sandbag has been like it's been killing me. I'll do a 300-pound stone 5 times in a row, no big deal. That 250 sandbag just fucking kills me. I don't know if it's just the way it's shaped or what, but it's really wide too, and I was able to do that really easy. Pretty stoked about that. So I'm ready. I mean, I'm pretty ready. Mentally, I'm ready. I got all the gear I need, so that's it. Thanks for everybody that supported me through this little journey of mine. I will obviously film what I'm doing in Iceland, and we'll go from there. But thank you for everybody, all the words of encouragement, all the things that's going on. I really do appreciate it. Follow me on my Instagram, asymmetrical.athlete_. Pretty sure that's the right one. And not all of my training's on there because I like to talk shit, like I said before. And now they're taking down the things that I say. Like I'll even put like encouraging things on some people's stuff, and they take it down. And they say it's spam, and I don't even get to like argue about it. It's weird, but whatever. So not all of it's on there. Some of my last stuff is on there. That's it. Again, thank you very much for sticking by this, watching to see what's going on. And hopefully in a couple days on Instagram, I'll throw it on a short too if I can, if I get signal out there to put it on an Instagram or a YouTube short. And then that's it. Appreciate it. Wish me luck. Always ask yourself, are you an asset or a liability?